What's up guys, it's English Dan back with another video. So as you may have saw last week, I did a review on the Liberty 3 Pro from Soundcore. Fantastic headphones, really good. But there's also the Liberty 2 Pro still around and a lot of people still like those. So what we're going to do today is Pro versus Pro. Let's find out which is best or whether it's worth upgrading. Welcome back guys. So yeah, Liberty 2 Pro, Liberty 3 Pro. Both really good earbuds, like really good, but these are new and they do have upgrades. But we'll get more into that in a second. So let's talk about build quality on these. So straight away when it comes to the cases, I'm just going to say, even though the case is bigger on the Liberty 2 Pro, I prefer it. Why do I prefer it? So the main reason I prefer it is it's got this coating and it's this soft touch. It's not slippery at all, it's easy to grip. I've not dropped this once, so I really do like the way they went with the soft touch on the Liberty 2 Pro line. I don't know why they went away with it from the Liberty 3 Pro, because it is very slick, and I have actually dropped this case twice. Luckily there's no dings or scratches on there, so it's, you know, well built and it's not going to break easily. But most definitely when it comes to the cases, I do prefer the fact that these are soft touch. They got that rubber soft touch on there instead of the slippery shell. Now I do prefer the case on the Liberty 3 Pro for the size though, because obviously you can see the difference in these things. There is a big difference. Height wise there's not a great deal, but the Liberty 3 Pro is a little smaller. But if I put these, as you can see, there's a pretty big difference between the two. When I hold them next to each other like this, yeah, they are pretty big, the Liberty 2 Pro. But again, it never really bothered me. I just found them easily pocketable, but these are even easier pocketable. So when it comes to that, it's kind of a wash, but I'd rather have the soft touch off the Liberty 2 Pro. But hey, you're not buying these for the case. When it comes to the build quality on the earbuds themselves, they are very similar in a lot of ways, but they're also different. So if you'll see, they're close to the same size with each other, these things, but they're not quite the same size. So the new Liberty 3 are actually a little bit smaller, makes them a little bit more comfortable to use, though I never did have the problem with the Liberty 2 Pro being too big, but these are definitely smaller, and I mean, if they're lightweight, I can't really tell the difference. I did like the aesthetic on the Liberty 2 Pro with the silver, but I do like the new glossy finish in the white on these as well on the Liberty 3 Pro. So it's pretty much a wash. It's what you prefer. Comfortable wise, I think the Liberty 3 Pro are definitely better when it comes to that. Build quality is just exceptional on them both. Do prefer the ear tips that they do come with in the Liberty 2 Pro though. They came with the little red insides. I know, picky, but just little things like that, little accents. I really like them kind of things, to the point that I'm going to use them on these. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, build quality wise, when it comes to these earbuds, you're going to have no problem with any of them. They're both fine, depending on how you have them in your ears, the fit and things like that is whether you'll find one more comfortable than the other. Like I say, for me, the smaller size, the Liberty 3 Pro wins out on comfortability, if that's even a word. But you know what I mean. So let's talk about battery life. Battery life on these is great. Both of them both get really good. Like I'm getting around 7.5 hours out of each pair. It's really not an issue when it comes to battery life on these. But the big differentiator is between these two is the fact that the Liberty 3 Pro have ANC and they do have transparency mode, or you can have it all turned off. So you do get that extra for your battery life, if you get what I'm saying by that. But both great on battery life. Get over 30 hours with the case, around 7.5 hours without the case. So battery life on them is kind of tied in a way, I suppose, but I'm going to give it to the Liberty 3 Pro because they do offer more options while maintaining that battery life, which is only a plus. Now the big reason you hear is the sound. Now if you watch my review, you'll know what I thought about the Liberty 3 Pro compared to the Liberty 2 Pro. So let's talk about the Liberty 2 Pro. Let's revisit what I think the sound is like on those. I loved the sound on these. Now the Liberty 2 Pro, a lot of people, I don't know whether it was the very early models, would complain that they could hear a hiss. I never actually got that, and I have the grey and the white pair, and both of them I've never really heard this hiss. I've heard a hiss maybe when the music's playing, when it's on the actual audio track from when it's been recorded, but not actually just sat in my ears. I never heard this hiss, but some people said they had it. I didn't. Now, when it comes to actual sound quality out of these things, remember, these do have app support just like the Liberty 3 does as well. They also have the same, well, not the same Hear ID, but they have Hear ID. It's not 2.0 like it is in the new Liberty 3 Pro. But they do have Hear ID. In fact, they may have even upgraded them now to Hear ID 2.0. I'm not sure. It might be an app thing, but I'd have to check that, and unfortunately I didn't before I set the camera rolling. Anyway, so when it comes to sound quality on the Liberty 2 Pro, they're great. For me, they were the best sounding earbuds. Notice I said were. Best sounding earbuds you could buy. Best sounding earbuds available on the market right now. Even now, if they brought them out with ANC, I'd still think they were the best. Why? Because they were so versatile. Just versatile as anything. You could listen to anything on these. You could play acoustical music, you could play rock, you could play EDM, hip hop, everything just came through great. Now the bass on these things was like smash your face in kind of bass. It was like, whoa, this bass is like boom, boom. I've never heard bass like it out of a set of earbuds. Really, really nice if you like bass heavy music. And then obviously with the app you could bring that bass back, you could bring your highs up a little bit more. The way I have to do it with Soundcore, I like my bass full. I just the way I am, and I have to bring the highs down because I find them a little high on the high end when you get them out of the box, but by the by, that's just the way I listen to them. But sound quality wise, they were great. You know, if you were working out, do I look like I work out? I used to. Alright, but working out, things like if you need some music that's going to thump and give you that adrenaline rush, then they're going to work for you for that. They really do sound good. Even today, after being out, they've been out now just over 2 years. Yeah, they still really hold up when it comes to the sound quality. However, the Liberty 3 Pro are here, and what I will say when it comes to the sound quality on these is more refined. It's a refined sound with a better clarity. The bass isn't quite as smash your face in, but it's definitely still really bassy, but it's just a nicer smooth bass. It's more detailed based, like more clarity in that bass. It's just really nice. The mids and the highs still sound really good. It's like a higher quality audio coming out of them, which leads me on to LDAC. The new ones do have LDAC support, which is a higher quality audio codec, and it does give you better sound. Does it give you that much better sound? That depends on the person, I suppose. I think they are better on LDAC when it comes to sound quality, but I actually don't use LDAC because I would rather have the stronger connection. Problem is with LDAC, your connection can, how can I say, it can be interfered with. So if you're on a bus or something like that, you're going through a busy town or city or something like that, and there's a lot going on, you can get interference with LDAC. Without LDAC, none whatsoever, and I can also go further away from my device before they break up. So I use them without LDAC, so LDAC isn't a big thing for me, but the overall sound itself, yeah, it's just a more detailed, refined sound. And for me, whereas the Liberty 2 Pro don't hold up to the XM4s from Sony, I think these are better. I really do. I think the sound on these is so much better. I think that the fact that they come with active noise cancelling that works really well, cuts out all that, hustle and bustle. If, like I say, you're on the bus or something like that, or you're walking down the street, the transparency mode is great, because what they've done this time with transparency mode, a lot of the time when you listen to earbuds, you turn transparency mode on and it can get rid of some of the sound quality. Sorry if you can hear my son. My son's having the time of his life in his room by the sounds of it. Whatever. It's up to him. Turn on transparency mode. Normally with a lot of earbuds, it takes away from the sound quality, removes a lot of the low and things like that, and it can make them sound a little tinny. Not with the Liberty 3 Pro. They've done such a good job when it comes to transparency mode, maintaining the audio quality while letting in the important sounds. And there is different various levels to that as well. You can let in just voices or surroundings, and they've done a really good job when it comes to that. I'm really good at doing this recently, aren't I? It's my red Solo cup. I'm not an alcoholic, alright? I know people are like, yeah, but people with red Solo cups all the time are drinking whiskey. No, it's iced coffee. Alright, it's iced coffee. chili beans. So yeah, transparency mode works really good. ANC works really good. Hear ID 2.0 works really good. And then you obviously got, just like you do on the Liberty 2 Pro, the list of different EQs from the Grammy Award winners. Overall, when you put these head to head, they're $169 for the Liberty 3 Pro. And I think they're outstanding value at that. I do think they're better than the Liberty 2 Pro because you do get the ANC, you do get the transparency, but you also get a more refined sound, a more comfortable fit. They're just an upgrade, and that's exactly what they are. They're a good upgrade, and I would personally myself upgrade from the Liberty 2 Pro to the Liberty 3 Pro because I like those things. I like the more detailed sound. I like the fact that I can have ANC. I like the fact that I can have transparency mode. They all mean a lot to me. I think they're very important. The Liberty 2 Pro, however, I would still buy now if the Liberty 3 Pro weren't here because they do sound great and they have like a real skull-crushing bass. Sound isn't as refined, like I said, hence the bass is like get smashed in the face over and over. But the Liberty 3 Pro are here. But if you can get the Liberty 2 Pro at $99 or less, hands down, they're going to be the best earbuds. You've just got to remember that you're not going to get ANC or transparency out of these. Now, they do the... Yeah. They do the Liberty 2 Pro Plus, which I also reviewed recently, and they have transparency mode. No ANC, but they're basically just the Liberty 2 Pro with transparency mode. Would I recommend them over the Liberty 3 Pro? No, because again, you've still not got that higher detailed sound. So, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Liberty 2 Pro versus the Liberty 3 Pro from Soundcore. Both amazing, both great no matter which ones you go for right now. But if you want active noise cancelling, you want transparency, you want the more detailed sound, cleaner sound, smoother bass, Liberty 3 Pro all day. Alright guys, I will catch you in the next one. Laters.